Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX with me, Devika Devan. Air pollution is a severe and growing threat to people of all ages, but it is particularly bad for children's health and development. There are three main reasons for that. Firstly, children breathe faster than adults. A typical adult takes between 12 to 18 breaths a minute. But in contrast to that, a 3-year-old child will take 20 to 30 breaths in a minute, and a newborn takes 30 to 40. So young children are breathing in a greater amount of polluted air, almost 2 to 3 times as much as adults. Secondly, children's lungs and other organs are currently developing. This makes them particularly vulnerable to damage. This can both have an immediate effect, such as causing issues like asthma, or even long-term impacts, such as reducing their lung volume for life. And thirdly, young children are also in danger because the barrier between the bloodstream and the brain is not yet fully formed. The air pollutants can cross from the lungs to the bloodstream and from the bloodstream to the brain. There, they can cause the brain cells to inflame as well. Today's generation of children are at a great risk of being affected as adults and for life. The national capital has recorded very poor air quality with an overall AQI of 356, even as the city logged its lowest minimum temperatures of the season at 8.7 degrees Celsius. In the midst of this, the Delhi government's decision to shift classes up to the 5th grade to a hybrid mode under GRAP 3 measures has left parents, teachers and students juggling in confusion, logistics and even access to digital tools. Teachers say that sudden switch has also reopened the deep digital divide they grappled with during the COVID-19 pandemic. It's a two-sided sword. While this measure aims to protect vulnerable children from pollutant exposure and ensure education continuity, it raises concerns about the digital divide, the uneven learning experiences, and the increasing reliance on internet connectivity for engagement. How has this model worked out so far? Do parents prefer this system even though it has its own drawbacks? We take this conversation forward. Dr. Piyush Jain, pediatrician, with me on the broadcast. Also with me, Alka Kapoor, principal of Modern Public School, and Ekta Kapoor, a concerned parent, with me. Let me begin with the parent first. Ms. Ekta Kapoor, if I can get you on the broadcast, ma'am, and if you can just very candidly share with our viewers what exactly have you experienced in the past few months vis-a-vis your children. If you can just tell us a little bit about your kids first, what are their ages and what have you experienced?
Hi, so my name is Ekta Kapoor and I have two daughters. One is approximately 9 years old and the other is almost 4. And my elder one goes to a formal school in a formal setting, and my younger one is still in her play school. She'll be starting nursery next year. And like you said, like the past couple of months have really not been very nice. I mean, I wouldn't even say months. I would say even we've been facing this problem for the past couple of years. And, as a parent, as we approach October, my heart starts pounding. Oh my God, the routine is going to go haywire. My children will not be able to do outdoor exercises anymore. What's going to happen to the school? And the consistency goes for a toss completely. Like my elder one is at a stage where she's learning new concepts. And, those concepts are so crucial that we need time at school. You need that time with the teachers, but because of the inconsistency in the routine in the school timetable, and the number of days they are going to school, it is really causing a lot of problem for my children. And all of us are facing a lot of issues apart from that. Not only just in academics, but even emotionally and socially. There is so much instability, in my children's routine. They used to go for a very nice outdoor workout regime. We can't do that anymore. My children are missing that. Suddenly one day there is school, the other day there isn't. Then one day there is online school, now suddenly there is hybrid. So even we are trying to juggle, the children are trying to juggle. They want to meet their friends, but they're not able to do. So today only my daughter went to school and she came back saying that, Mama, my friends didn't come to school. Why were they online? Why was I in school? All these kind of questions, and explaining to your children. And I currently don't want to expose them to the fact that the air is so polluted. I don't want to put that in their minds, that you are breathing toxic air, it will impact your lungs. I also believe a little bit in manifestation, and I don't want to put these words in their minds that you're breathing toxic air. Yes, I do my best to keep them safe. I use air purifiers. We are in touch with the school. Luckily, she goes to a great school, and they've been sending us the AQIs that they maintain in the school. But yes, if you ask me how it's been a complete roller coaster for us, and we're still juggling with it.
Okay, all right. Let me then also bring in Miss Alka Kapoor, who's a principal. Ms. Kapoor, I want to understand from your perspective, how exactly is your school now grappling with this transition to a hybrid model right now?
So, namaskar and thank you for raising this issue that concerns the entire Delhi today. Mrs. Ekta Kapoor, I think, gave in very valid inputs about what the children and what the parents are feeling. So, from an educationist point of view, I see this impact closely every single day. Children are coughing more, they are falling sick more often, and feeling fatigued even without physical exertion. So their eyes burn, their throats dry up, and their immunity becomes compromised. And we must remember children breathe faster, their lungs are still developing, and toxic air harms them far more deeply than adults. So now we are compelled to shift to the hybrid mode again, and many parents are asking, are we back to the corona era? So, no, the cause is different, but the pattern is painfully similar. Classes are disrupted, outdoor activities are suspended. So, what best we can do is we keep children indoors, and once again, their routine, of course, in this arrangement gets hampered. The socialization and the learnings are being affected, as Mrs. Ekta was saying. So, what worries me the most is the long term impact. A generation that grows up inhaling poisonous air may face lifelong issues with the reduced lung capacity, weakened immunity, learning difficulties, and of course, higher anxiety levels that we are seeing now. So, we cannot allow this to become a normal. Vis-a-vis the teachers, I would say they are not very happy in the hybrid mode because they actually do not know how to handle the class online or offline at the same time. We are not robots. And it's not even easy for the parents because we have working parents. So, who's going to make that arrangement? And then, when you wisely said that there is a disparity. There is a disparity between the economically weaker section and the privileged start of the society. Some people don't even have access to mobile phones or maybe the internet at their places, even teachers for that matter. And when we say, is the hybrid mode affecting the children? I would say, why just the children? It's impacting even the teachers when they are expected to come to school. So even I mean their lungs suffer. I am myself an asthmatic, so even I'm suffering. So when will our children get to breathe clean air again is the concern of all. So schools are doing every possible thing: air purifiers in the classroom, indoor assemblies, awareness sessions, hybrid learning. But schools alone cannot fight pollution. So I would say this requires collective moral responsibility from policymakers, enforcing stricter emission norms from civic bodies, which ensure waste management from industries and construction units, and from each one of us citizens making responsible choices. So I feel it's not a very happy situation for any one of us, but we will have to uh, go beyond the boundaries of the classroom into the homes also. So in the hybrid mode, children are made to sit at home because of maybe certain reasons, but they are seen loitering on the streets. Parents need to be extremely mindful that they are consuming poisonous. It's beyond dangerous, and the impacts will be seen after a couple of years now. So I think purifiers with the HEPA filters are a must, and indoor activities and immunity level must be increased. We must make sure children are well hydrated. So all of this has become a point to ponder for healthy lungs, healthy childhood, but these, because these cannot be recreated later. So I
Absolutely.
believe clean air is not a luxury anymore. It is the fundamental right of every child. And schools are really at risk because education is being impacted. But then when we say education is being impacted, if we put it on two same pedestals, I think health first.
Absolutely. And, at the same time as Kapoor, it also exposes the disparity as far as society is concerned. There are students who have the ability to sit at home and maybe have access to a laptop and access to the internet to go on with their classes. There'll be students who will probably have access to home tutors as well, but that's not the reality for everyone. Uh, I don't know how government school children would also be functioning at this point in time. But on that note, let me bring in Dr. Piyush Jain as well into the conversation. Dr. Jain, what exactly would your recommendations be, sir, to parents who are grappling with this entire situation of the air pollution in Delhi, and at the same time who are also wanting to make some critical decisions now for their children's health? We can't all pack up our bags and decide to move away from Delhi. Parents are working here. That's just not possible. What do we do? And it seems like this conversation falls on deaf ears every single year. Nobody in the government cares.
You're absolutely right, and as Dr. Alka Kapoor has already mentioned so many things, the guidelines or advisory to parents is that first thing that when the AQI crosses 300 or 350, the outdoor activities of the children should be restricted. And for last few days, the AQI is more than 400, so schools they have shut down, and because of the safety of the children. The other important point is all the children should mandatorily use face masks when they leave out of the house, and it definitely gives a good protection to them. And it's better to use a good quality face mask like N95 face mask. Then, as Dr. Alka was also saying, we should try to have air purifiers at our home, and many time it is very costly, say around 10,000 rupees or so. So if we are not putting air purifiers, we can have some plants in the house which are helpful to control the pollution till certain level. Then it's good to give some steam inhalation to the children, and so that their nostrils are open, and the development of the cough because of the pollutant irritation is less. The other thing is we should always try to increase the hydration of the child. It gives them a good level of protection, like hot water, some vegetable soups, or narel pani, and something like that. Then in the food also, we should increase some anti-inflammatory, and the food which gives the increase the immunity level of the child. Like we can use our haldi ka doodh. Then we can use some tulsi, adrak की चाय बड़े बच्चों को दे सकते हैं, या फिर वी कैन यूज तुलसी, अदरक, काली मिर्च एटसेट्रा का पानी उबाल कर सकते हैं, एंड वी कैन give it to the children from time to time. Then we should give more amount of fruits and green vegetables to the children in the diet. That increases the immunity, and plus some omega-3 containing dry fruits like almonds or akhrot, pista, etc. that also boost the immunity level. And always try to add up things with the slightly lukewarm water to keep the hydration on the higher level. Plus, we should try to minimize use of certain things like agarbatti, dhua batti, or some mosquito repellent fumes, and no smoking, strictly no smoking in the house. And also one very important thing which we always neglect is the use of perfumes and deodorants. We should request parents that they should avoid using the use of perfumes and deodorants, because it always adds to the injury caused by the pollution on the lungs. Then also in the these children should avoid to go to the kitchen where we are preparing some parathas, or so we are giving some chalk in the vegetables and all, so that the chances of increasing the pollutant injury to the lungs is reduced. And one more thing, that agarbatti and dhoobatti, which we most of the family, I mean, our household, they have a small temple in the room, and we every day, morning or evening, many parents do dhoobatti or agarbatti. So we should reduce that, and we can use simple simple ghee deepak or tel deepak, and we can do our puja with that.
Okay, all right. I hope parents watching this were listening to some of those tips. But Ekta, bringing you back into the conversation, how exactly are you now continuing to manage with the current situation, and how are you explaining it also to your children? What are some of the do's and don'ts? Because of course, little children, what do they want at the end of the day is to go out and play. I remember when I was young as well, that's all that I looked forward to after a day in the school. And even in the school, you're looking forward to break time, you're looking forward to being outside and playing. And it's so sad that we're having to take that away from our children. So how are you coping with that, and what are you telling your children?
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. It is extremely sad. Every day when I see my girls indoors, especially my younger one, my elder one comes a little late, but my younger one, she has so much energy and she wants to go out and play, and it really breaks my heart to tell her that no, 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 we cannot go outside. And honestly, I really have nothing to say to her except that no, the weather is not right. It is there is a little pollution. We cannot go outside. Okay, come on, let us play inside. So I've been trying to entertain her indoors with different activities, but it is definitely a very big task to keep them from going outdoors. And I really appreciate Dr. Piyush's recommendations, but as a parent, when I was listening to it, for me it was like, oh my god, that's a really long list. It's a really long list to make sure that my child, even though I want them to take immunity boosters, but already my child is grappling through so many things. I tell her, no, 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 you can't go out. Oh, no, 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 we cannot go for our class. Oh, no, we can't go down to play. Oh, I don't know why your kids are not coming, your friends are not coming to school, and now I'm giving them all these immunity boosters, and they're like, mama, why do I have to have this? Oh, we are going out. Okay, wear a mask and go. It is too much for the young ones. Maybe a little teenagers can understand, but for my young ones, it is a lot. And the worst part is, what I have seen in the past couple of years is that now when the cough, if my daughter, usually, when I was growing up, cough and cold was a part of growing up. I have a cold, oh, it's okay, it's going to go away, it's going to build your immunity. But now, if my daughter catches a cough or a cold, my heart starts pounding. The doctor is going to give her a nebulizer. What if she's not okay without a nebulizer? Nothing, no homemade remedies seem to work suddenly. We are recommended, and it is not just with me. I have a lot of friends. My family, my friends. I'm surrounded by parents who have young children, and the only thing we keep talking about is that, how can we build their immunity? As soon as a little cough comes, it is so persistent that the child is coughing all through the month, and it is not curable through home remedies. Imagine giving, recently there was, I have a newborn in the house as well. He is barely 8 months old, and it took him more than a month with a heavy dose of nebulizing. I also have an elderly in the family, our grandfather, and the dose that was prescribed to him, the dose that was prescribed to my nephew was much higher than what was prescribed to my grandfather. And it was heartbreaking to see that little one taking a nebulizer 4 times a day with more number of libolines and butycots and another, one more of the medicine which I can't recall right now, than what was prescribed to my 80-year-old grandfather. It's really heartbreaking to see the world that we're living in. And yeah, it's just how it's basically taking one day at a time.
Yes, but at the same time, Ekta, I want to understand from you, do you feel that anyone in the government is hearing these pleas? Is anybody concerned? Do you get that feeling at all that someone's working on this problem?
Not at all, unfortunately. What I feel is that really there is nobody listening. I mean, this is a very big problem. Pollution is a very big problem. The area that I stay in is a very, very nicely built area, and but I have so many basic problems. The construction of the roads. I mean, there's grab 3, but construction in my area has not stopped. There is pollution everywhere, there is dust everywhere, roads are broken, there are sewages that are blocked, which have not been seen. It is not just that. I feel like in every purview, the government is really not listening. And it genuinely breaks our heart to see, we pay so much taxes, we expect so much out of the government. We follow the rules and regulations, whatever they come up with. The last government came up with that alternate rule, only odd even cars will go. We followed that with everybody had to face so much problems. Suddenly we are checking, Arey, who has an even number car, okay, let's do that. Then another rule comes, we are accommodating. Now the government wants to shut down schools for children's safety, but I don't think shutting down schools is going to help keep them safe, because at the end of the day, not everybody has an air purifier. In my house, not every room will have an air purifier, right? I can have 1 or 2 rooms with an air purifier, but I can't purify the whole house. My children are still breathing the same air. So keeping them home is also not keeping them safe. Shutting down the schools, hybrid models is not a solution. Solution is
Exactly.
actually cleaning the air. And
Absolutely, and
nobody
you're
is
right. And
listening.
we're all also talking from a place of privilege. We have to recognize that. We're talking about a very
Exactly.
small segment of Delhi where all of us are able to afford these air purifiers. So we're
Absolutely.
all talking from such a place of privilege right now, but uh, there is a whole section of people who just can't. They can't afford to purify their homes, nor can they afford to not have their children go to school. So on
Absolutely.
that note, Alka ji, I want to bring you in as well. Uh, how do you think we can really now take this up properly so that people care? Like I said, I've had these conversations for the past 8 years now on this very channel. Every year, same time, I have the same conversation, but it's just not making, it seems, any impact whatsoever. Should there be some sort of a movement that is now led by children themselves?
Yeah, I agree to what you are saying because I'm myself suffering. So every time the air quality gets compromised, I'm compelled to stay indoor or maybe on nebulization. But what doctor said and what the parent said, it's not easy for every child also to get them to nebulization or maybe steam inhalation. It's just not easy. So you know what, the problem in India is the population. With so much of population and people on the roads, it's not easy for even the government to see it. So today I was in a meeting and a conversation with some high officials of the Delhi government, and I was really happy to see. And they promised and they showed me evidence that some good work will happen soon. It's been 10 years, nothing has happened. And this government, I am sure they are committed because I deal with them on regular basis, but they can't do it overnight. So they have I think imported huge machines that will take care of the sewage system, of the water. They are talking about plantation, but then we are kind of living in a concrete jungle everywhere. Buildings are coming up, and as Mrs. Ekta Kapoor said, the grab 4 is implemented, but the construction is not stopping. So I think it becomes the individual responsibility to make sure. At night the weather is changing, we see the guards on the road lighting up that bonfire to keep themselves warm. In the slums, people are cooking on the little chulhas, and that generates so much of pollution. I was in Dubai last week. It was equally bad, it was extremely bad. And it's not that the other countries are not bad, but that I think it becomes individual responsibility to join hands and fight out for a solution. Just blaming the government will not help. When people want to do it, they throw trash on the roads. The sewage system is bad. There is so much of chemical around. Chemical just does not come from the industries. It comes from the household also. The trash they are doing, they feel my house should be clean. I should throw everything on the roads. So I think collectively, if we join hands with the government, because there is so much of population, it's not easy for the government. So maybe things will work if people feel that education will play a role. And when doctor said that it's not possible for every household to have air purifiers, I think putting wet clothes on the windows for the underprivileged, can also help. But that needs to be educated. And I think we from the school level are trying to do our bit. But I would urge people through this medium to come and join hands together and think of it as a collective responsibility, because after all, the guard who is consuming those fumes will also be suffering. On one hand, he's so it's the duty responsibility of the house owner, or maybe the RWA, to install a cabin for him so that he keeps himself warm and he does not compelled to burn those pieces of paper or maybe the wood. So I think it's the collective responsibility that may bring in some change.
Right, absolutely. On that note, I've run out of time, but I thank all of our guests for joining us to take this very pertinent conversation forward. We hope that if you're in Delhi, you're keeping safe. On that note, viewers, a very short break.